moving on, we have the Boston Celtics against the Indiana Pacers, the 2024 Eastern Conference Finals for the NBA. Who would have predicted it, guys? Celtics pretty obvious, but Pacers making it all this way is very impressive to me. Pascal Siakam, NBA champion, leading his team once again. What are your thoughts on this series?
I just know that the color clash of green and gold is going to be disgusting. just to put that out there. Um, it's really interesting because a lot of the media attention has not focused on the Celtics at all because we just expect them to win. Like if the Heat came out and took it to like 6 games or the Cavs, but like I'm not going to get into my prediction too early, but I could just see this just being another 4-1 and kind of sweet. I saw this graphic was, one of these guys are going to be a Finals MVP, and it was a picture of Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic, and Derek White. So I don't know if you guys seen that, but it's just class. But I'm excited for the series. It's two very high-powered offensive teams in the conference finals, so we shall see this color clash.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very interested in seeing what's going on there. But I think overall, the Celtics have the obvious advantage. They've been the better team, or literally the best team in the league throughout the season. And for me, it really just looks like, yeah, Indy got there thanks to injury luck, mostly. Like the Knicks were exhausted. The Bucks were without their two best players, so it's kind of obvious that they're in this position. It's kind of like, yeah, they're basically injury merchants. I'll say it. Like to me personally, they're injury merchants, but obviously you still have to get there. Like you don't get there without nothing. So obviously Tyrese Halliburton played incredible, but uh, to me personally, I think TJ McConnell is like the guy on the Pacers right now. Like he's the leading force that got the Pacers where they are right now. Um, which really tells you a lot about the Pacers right now because Tyrese Halliburton used to be before the All-Star break, used to be like an All NBA first team guy, and since then he's been. I wouldn't really say regressing so much, but he's been affected so much by injury so far. Um, but then again, like against the Knicks, he was showing again who he was before the All-Star break. And yeah, very interesting how that goes. Obviously, Pascal Siakam as well has been incredible throughout the playoffs, but then again, it, I'm not really sure how that'll go now against the
Yeah.
Celtics.
Yep. You know what's funny? I just realized that after Matt said his thing about TJ McConnell and then the Derek White joke is I forgot what it's called, the Larry Bird Eastern Conference MVP. Is that gonna be a battle between TJ McConnell and Derek White? Is there a world where that
Yes,
it's
two
gonna go to
fan
one of those?
favorites.
Oh man.
One is white and one is cold white.
Yo,
It's perfect.
crazy. The
So
drama.
Oh man, that
yeah,
just reminded me of uh the good old bubble jerseys. Like I remember that one jersey where the Magic player had equality written on it, and the Celtics player blocks the shot. Like you remember that
Yep.
photo?
Yeah. I know that.
Uh,
Yeah. Uh, those are
off
interesting
topic.
times.
yeah.
Let's get back to it. X Factors.
I can X Factors,
No,
yes,
go.
I can get to that.
Cool.
Pas Pascal Siakam is the biggest one to me, just because he needs to have a baller series. I trust the Pacers role players enough to hit their threes and like play hard. That's about it. But they really need Pascal Siakam, and actually, I'm gonna switch it. I expect Pascal to play good. He's an NBA champion. Miles Turner is my X factor because you have no Porzingis. Miles Turner is right there. The floor spacing big for the Pacers, who's going to be guarded by like Luke Cornett or old Al Horford and stuff like that. And he's had a great playoff, so he needs to be like very dominant for the Pacers to push the series deep and potentially upset it. I expect Tyrese to struggle a bit because he's going to be faced by bigger physical people. Like his dimes will be there, but the shot, I expect it to be a bit down. That's why Miles Turner needs to have a huge series. And then on the Celtics side, I think it's just going to be the usual. Like, you're going to shoot 50 threes a game. Everyone knows you're going to shoot 50 threes a game. Are you going to hit your threes? That's the real question to me. And I trust their defenders to show up, but that's what pops up. And Matt just said that Miles Turner is the Gordon Hayward of Kristaps Porzingis. And you know what? He's kind of right. Like, he's not as good, but he can do all the same things that Porzingis could do on paper, I guess.
Yep. It's like Gordon Hayward's rant. Why would you come out and say that? It's just so random. It's literally like school's over. I'm just gonna shit on some people. Let me just put it into the group chat. I'm leaving. I don't like you guys anyway. Like, it's just so petty. Like, you're 30 years old, man. You got kids. Um, we traded for you. And anyhow, let's get back to Pacers and the Celtics with more X factors. So my X factor is Jayson Tatum. He's been his usual self, but he's not really come out with a big game. Like a 40 piece, like 35 plus, and just kind of well rounded. To be fair, I haven't watched a lot of Celtics games, so I could be wrong, but you need to make a staple as being the leading scorer to lead this team to the championship, or else Derek White is going to win the Larry Bird Award, and which would be kind of bad for Jayson Tatum's legacy. Even as a 19-year-old. Alex, any thoughts?
Yeah, about the X factors. Obviously for the Celtics, it'll be whenever Kristaps Porzingis is coming back and how healthy he's going to be. Like, I think this is going to be one of the hugest points. And if he's not healthy, I guess you can say Al Horford is going to be arguably the biggest X factor for the Celtics. Like, how is he going to match up against Miles Turner or slash Pascal Siakam? Like, how's that going to go? I think I don't know who else do you think will play big minutes for the Celtics? Nemias Keita or Luke Cornett?
I think it's gonna be
Ooh,
Al Horford, but it won't be pretty. Like, they're just gonna make Horford play, but he's old now. Like,
Yeah,
he celebrated so hard after hitting that three to put them up 15 with 1 minute left in the game. Uh, that kind of to me shows that he's a little bit on the washed end. Like, if he was off the bench, he'd be great, but they're gonna need him to play like 30-ish minutes
yeah,
realistically. So that's
exactly.
tough. Or else they gotta play I forgot his name. What's his name? The guy from the Grizzlies? Oh,
Xavier Tillman.
Xavier
Xavier.
True,
Tillman.
I
Xavier.
almost forgot him. Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
him.
The
Xavier
way you
Tillman.
said that sounded like he was from a sitcom. Like the guy from Friends. I don't know why that came across that way, but we can move on to. Do you want to do the top three players in the series?
Yeah, we could do that.
Yes,
Top three
please.
players.
Alex, hit us off.
Yeah. Number one, Derek White. Number two, TJ McConnell. And number three, Pascal Siakam.
I think you're gonna say Payton Pritchard. Just get all the small point guards in. All right,
Oh,
let's get the serious one.
also, yeah.
It's
Now,
probably for me, in terms of how they played in the playoffs. Uh, like Tatum's averaging, I think 25, 24, 10, and 5 in the playoffs so far. And you're just trying to beat up teams like you're not playing anyone real. They're not really injury merchants, but they're just kind of like they're just a better team. So they're better team merchants, which I just can't stand in the playoffs. Like, just be the same level, you know? So I'll say Siakam, Tatum, and then probably Derek White third.
Oh wow. Okay. My list is very is yeah, I like that we all have different opinions. I say probably Jaylen Brown. I feel like he's been better than Tatum overall throughout the playoffs. It's not even a diss at Tatum. It's just Jaylen Brown has been pretty good. Second, I would say this is kind of tough. Yeah, I'd say Tatum still, and then third, I would put Tyrese Halliburton. But if it's in terms of predicting who will play the best, I'd say Pascal Siakam. But yeah, I'd say Tatum, Brown, Halliburton. Pretty generic list, but that's what I think.
Cool. We can
Three
move
All-Stars,
on
but a
and
hot
wrap up.
take. Yeah. What's our prediction?
No way.
Yeah.
Celtics in 5.
Celtics in 6 games.
Uh, let's introduce a little more chaos. I'll say Pacers again in 7 because they're injury merchants.
So
Yeah.
who's going to get injured?
Porzingis
Not that we
doesn't come
want
back,
anyone to get injured.
I'll say Porzingis is not coming back this series.
and then
Al
Miles
Horford
Turner
is
might.
going to get cooked,
Yeah.
and then I'll say Jaylen Brown gets injured by game 4. Something like that is going to happen, isn't it? Like I can already see it happening. Like hopefully I'm wrong and the Celtics win in 5, but the way things have gone for Indy, they're just going to face whoever comes through in the West, and yeah.
But
That's
here's the
it.
thing though, if you're Indiana, right? Like even with all these injuries, they like they're playing hard and they're like beating their opponents. So you got to give them credit there. And the
Yeah,
problem,
not definitely. Like they're beating, like they're making the things that they're supposed to do, right? You have to give them credit for that, obviously. But then still,
yeah,
like they still lost like game 4 against the Bucks. They still lost game 5 against the Knicks by 30. So
yeah,
there are instances where I think it's just too streaky there every there and then. But
true,
it still went the Pacers' way. So
yeah,
you feel like I'm
true.
saying like even though like the Pacers are not 100% doing everything right, they still get through with it. So
I agree with that, but my point is more like the team is probably insanely confident right now. Like they're just like we took down 2 teams in our first real playoff run. Forget the situation. We can take down anyone. Like they're just like going into Boston fearless with nothing to lose, and that's kind of dangerous because the Hawks in 2021, just to kind of like tie things together, they had a great playoff run, but they were facing even like tougher opponents, I'd argue, than the Pacers did because at least their opponents were fully healthy and on the court. And the real reason why they lost against the Bucks was because of that Trae Young ankle sprain. Like the Bucks could have still won anyways, but Giannis got hurt, and then Trae Young sprains his ankle, and then they kind of fell off. So it's gonna be interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. The Pacers are gonna come in confident, Alex. Your prediction might be right.
I mean,
So
we're
yeah,
here
it's
for
funny that
hot
we're
takes.
arguing when we have opposite opinions. So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
usually we kind of are quite similar. But no, it's good to be different,
it's
have
good
a
to spice
varied
things up.